basically, I've always explained this very simply to our educator network that we have right now. As we said, the BlondeMe Lightener, the lifting creams, the white blending creams, anything that you could color with BlondeMe already has step number 1 already built into it. So for example, the lightener has integrated bonding technology, which means that when you put the lightener on the hair strand, there's an ingredient in the lightener itself, succinic acid, that protects the bonds while you're lifting. So imagine it to be like this little bodyguard that goes inside of the hair and envelopes and protects the bonds that keep your hair fibers together so that your hair remains intact and healthy during the lightening service. But, I don't know who Chanel is. Like ADD today, sorry guys. But like nothing's perfect, right? So let's say some bonds did break during the lightening service with the BlondeMe 9+. The second that you use a BlondeMe shampoo, whether it's cool blondes, all blondes, warm blondes, doesn't matter, that is step number 2. Now I'm gonna be ridiculous here for a second and give you a visual so that you can understand how does step 2 actually work. Step 1, protects. We know this. Like that's why it's in the lifting, the white blending, the lightener. Step number 1, protects. Always with Schwarzkopf Professional. Step number 1, protects. Step number 2 helps to create new bonds and then seal them in the hair. How does that work? It is an active ingredient called magnesium citrate, and I'm gonna give you a perfect visual that will hopefully help you understand, and it is absolutely ridiculous, and I am a ridiculous person. So imagine that this is a hair bond, and it breaks because of a lightener. What happens is this end of the bond and this end of the bond are negatively charged. It's like two best friends just broke up, and now they're salty about it. So she's negative and she's negative, okay? Set that aside. Magnesium citrate is a molecule that has 2 positive arms. So what happens in chemistry? Opposites attract. So this one's all salty and negative, this one's all salty and negative. What happens is magnesium citrate works its way in, and then what? Positive attracts to negative, positive attracts to negative. Now I'm the bond that's created this new bond in the hair, strengthening the hair. I know it's stupid, but you'll never forget Ian on this webinar going like this and being a magnesium citrate molecule. But essentially that's what it is. It's a 2-armed positive at either end that connects the bonds inside of the hair, restructuring and helping the fibers of your hair remain intact. What's
so it's
really
like a bond therapist to get them back together.
Yeah.
Can we get an illustration of your face as a connecting bond connector, like an illustration with your face wiggling around? It would help us remember. Yeah, that's like a GIF. That's the GIF. That's the new BlondeMe GIF. Ian's face like this.
It's hard. I usually do this in person, but obviously that doesn't happen right now. So I'm like, how can I do magnesium citrate? Oh, the 2 positive arms and then the broken bonds that are negative. Like, gotta get creative. So what you're looking at on the screen right now, it's broken up into cool blondes, warm blondes, all blondes, and then our detoxifying system. Every single thing that you're looking at on the screen is step number 2. So imagine the magnesium citrate, step number 2, with the 2 positive arms being able to connect and create bonds in the hair is the step number 2. Now, I mean, for us on this call, step 1 is to protect, step 2 is to create. If you ever see anything in our literature though that says step 3, basically that's a continuation of step 2. It's what you retell to your clients for them to maintain this bonding action to happen at home. Does that make sense? So step 3 is just, yeah, I use this on you in the salon. Now I'm gonna have you buy it and take it home so that it can continue for you as a step 3. So that is essentially the importance of care. You'll see here, like we have this, I think this is like so cool. So here is our Cool Blondes Spray Leave-In Conditioner. if you'll see here at the bottom, you have to shake this. So you want to give it a good shake because the Cool Blondes conditioner, do you see that? It's like little micro nano sized glitter that once you spray it into the hair, you can see it, I know you can see it. It's cool. So your blondes, for example, I'll spray some on a white paper towel. Yep, okay, there you can kind of see right there the violetness. Imagine like, I don't know why, but it's like Zoom is random. So Jessica, you're like on my people I can see. Like if you wanted to keep your blonde bright and on the cooler side of things, you could spray this in the hair. And obviously violet cancels out yellow. But there's like it's like BlondeMe glitter in here. So it would make your blonde like super shiny and cool at the same time. And then on the opposite end of things, we've got the All Blondes Shine Elixir. And this is basically, you would pump this out onto the hair, and it's got like super micro, like golden kind of shimmer to it. And you could put this through the hair and then blow dry it in. You can't see this, but there is also like a super, super, super like microfine reflective kind of quality in the Shine Serum. And there's like the slightest, like minimal amount of hold with the BlondeMe Shine Elixir Serum. So it's this gold kind of product. It's got a lot of reflective quality to it, and you smooth that into the hair when it's damp, and you can blow dry it in. And last, I know this is a training for you guys, but if you have time later, 4 p.m. PST, which is 6 p.m. my time in Chicago, I'm going to be doing a Facebook Live on BLONDME Care. Wait, is it Instagram? No, it's Facebook. It's Facebook. It's a Facebook Live that I'm doing on the Schwarzkopf page for BLONDME Care. And I'm going to specifically be doing on our BLONDME Care, but I really want to focus on the detoxifying system because this is a really cool. You guys see my hair now, yeah? I have a toner in here now that's launching in September, 9-24, one of the muted desert tones, so it's a blue beige. 9-24 and clear is my jam, like love. But I did it about a week or so ago, and I've just kind of like been shampooing it normal. I want to showcase that when you use the BLONDME detoxifying system, which are these little sachet packets, and wait, do you guys give me a nod, yes or no? Do you know about the detoxifying system? Okay, good. So you know that you take one of these detoxifying packets, which is about 5 grams worth of vitamin C powder, and you put it into 25 grams of the All Blonde mask, and you put this in your hair, and the citric acid in the sachet pouch helps to really remove minerals, pollutants, dust. But I mean, just between us squirrel friends, it is able to like shift a toner. So if you're one of these clients that like overdoes the Goodbye Yellow or the Silver Purple shampoo or whatever purple shampoo you're using, the BLONDME Detox system, being the mask and the powder additive, guys, I literally took out a toner from my hair the first time I did this. And I was like, I have to show this now on Facebook. Like the fact that it's that stripping in a good way was mind-blowing to me. When ours comes in a bonding mask, like we're asking you to mix the powder that helps to strip the hair of impurities into a masked formula that has bonding technology. Like,
does it shift the natural at all or no?
Does it what?
Does it shift the natural at all or no?
No, there's absolutely no lightening capabilities whatsoever. But if you had like maybe like a smidge of like over deposit, or your client came in and it's summer and like their ends are just a little like dusty looking because they did too many purple shampoos, like maybe they did it every day, the detoxifying system. But I guess for me, like, why would I use something that doesn't, like, if I'm gonna purify my hair, why wouldn't I use something that had like this awesome like bonding mask quality to it rather than just a standalone purifier? So
can you use it as a treatment before blonding, like for hard water and all that?
Totally, 100%. At one of the hair shows that we did last year, when we could go to hair shows, we were in an area where the water was just weird, and we knew it was going to be weird. So we thought, like, if we put BlondeMe on these girls that are coming in as models, like, we could get the whole heat up situation and that whole thing. So we were like, everybody gets a BlondeMe detoxifying system first, then we go through it. We had no issues. Okay. So in the detoxifying system for BlondeMe, we have the All Blondes detoxifying shampoo. So that's the first step. Then you would take your little mono dose of the vitamin C packets, which is 5 grams each, put it into 25 grams of conditioner or mask in BlondeMe and put it on the hair. You can let that sit up to 20 minutes and that will do your purifying or detoxifying for you. And then we've got here, lastly, and I don't think you can see it because of my light, but there is a 2-phase, it's called the biphase bonding and protecting spray. Essentially what this does is it creates a shield for your hair not to absorb dust and not to absorb impurities and not to absorb an over product buildup. So that's something you could use on the daily. And of course, per BlondeMe, everything smells.
Would you spray this on the hair after the shot before the color service? Like if you were doing it as a pre-treatment?
You would not use this if you were going to do color. This is like end of the road. Like this is what you would use like right before you blow dry.
Okay, right before you blow dry and do the color, or do I send them home with this?
You send them home with it, yeah. Yep. And that will help to protect their hair from, getting the kind of dingy end results. Does that make sense? Are we good for the detoxifying system? Any questions? I mean, it's all pretty simple in terms of care. We're just really trying to drive home the idea that BlondeMe is a whole entire system and that it's not just the 9+. To maintain this kind of bonding action at home, it's crucial for us to keep the story alive that BLONDME Care is step number 2. And Ian will always be here to do this for you if you need the example of how magnesium citrate works.
So the detox spray, you send them home with that and that helps maintain their treatment?
Correct. So it is, and I think I have this, here it is. You've got your purifying bonding shampoo, that is step 1. You mix your vitamin C packet and the mask for the treatment that you leave on up to 20 minutes. And then you rinse that out, no need to shampoo, and then follow up with your biphase bonding spray.
Does the bonding spray have any thermal protection? Or just for the fading, or for the overtone?
I don't see that it actually has thermal protection. It clearly says on here that you shouldn't smoke whilst using this product. I'm gonna have to do some research and let you know. I don't see that there is a heat protection here, but usually our things do, so I'm surprised that that isn't listed. So I can definitely find that out.
It's gonna protect the hair from rebuilding minerals and
right.
Stuff like that.
Yep. And I hate the word coating, so I prefer to use the word it creates a shield to protect the hair from future pollutants.
Is that shield going to make it difficult to lighten on top of?
No, I have not experienced that whatsoever. Because the second you shampoo your hair, it's gone. So it's something that you would use on the daily if you're a bright blonde and you want to maintain that bright blonde without having to strip or purify or purple shampoo. It's something that you can use to just really help maintain the brightness. Okay. Are you ready? You're about to hear something that nobody else has heard. So, I need a visual nod from all of you that you will keep quiet about this for the month of August until we launch this in September. Mimi? Yes, okay, good, perfect. All right, I can see all your faces now. I managed to like fix my screen. Okay, so BlondeMe has always had toners, and we are relaunching them. And I'm happy to say that I actually was on a small little like task force for the relaunch of our BlondeMe toners. I'm sure as you guys know now, wait, just raise your hands. How many of you actually have used or use the BlondeMe toners? Okay, wow. So this is a good thing that we're relaunching them. Maybe everybody will love them. Right now, the BlondeMe toners come out as a cream, pretty much the same consistency as like the lifting or white blending creams. What's changing about the new BlondeMe toners is that they will have, if you guys can see this little like hexagon here basically says that the new toners will have bonding technology in them. And the toners themselves are going to get a complete overhaul in terms of consistency. They're going to be more of a jelly of a consistency so that you can shake them up in a bottle or you could put them in a bowl. So they're going to be a lot looser, which means that it'll be a lot easier to spread throughout the hair. It's going to be easier to mix them, but you can use them for a bottle or a bowl and brush application. So our story here is that every BlondeMe lightening service should be finished with a blonde toning service. I just want to ask you guys, for those of you who don't use the blonde, mailman's here. For those of you who don't use BlondeMe toners now, and again, we started this whole thing with like, this is a conversation. What are you using? Or are you using? What'd you say?
Vibrance or no toner.
So Vibrance or no, okay, got it, perfect.
So interesting, I used to use Vibrance most of the time.
Yeah.
And then the salon that I manage, they always used Vibrance. And then the owner was asking, why am I ordering all this BlondeMe all of a sudden? All of a sudden, I don't know, we just started using the sand and the ice. Because I feel like some tones are getting a little bit more beachy instead of so platinum.
Yeah.
So we're using a ton of the BlondeMe toners again. I love them.
And specifically the ice and sand.
Yeah, ice, sand. I've been doing a little bit of apricot caramel.
Shauna, if you put sand on top of like a clean level 9, is how would you describe it?
I would like, if you're gonna do sand, so 9, yeah.
It's
but
what?
The ice, the 10. You could do sand and ice on a 10. It's beautiful.
Oh. So it's neutral with some reflection, maybe.
This is sand.
Yeah. That sounds good.
I'm always lifting to a 10 when I use the BlondeMe toners.
Yeah. Oh, to a 10.
Mostly 10.
Yeah.
The strawberry is like the most beautiful, perfect pink, and
It's so pretty.
It lasts for so long. It's like the longest lasting pink I've ever used. They'll come back in.
Which one is that? What's it called?
Strawberry. I use
And
it.
how long does it, how does it fade?
It fades. It almost, it's like, you know how you have trouble keeping pink in your client's hair?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come back and it's still like a light, good pink. Like you would almost have to like remove it before you do something else. Like that's how good it stays. So if you did like half ice, half pink, it would be like a really pretty, like cool, light pink.
It's like an icy strawberry. It's so pretty.
Ooh.
Strawberry is my favorite.
Well, the strawberry that you know will be slightly enhanced with the relaunch of the toners. It's going to be like this much punchier.
I thought you were going to say it was going to be gone. I was like,
No. No, I don't. I'm not here to ruin anybody's day. So, BlondeMe. Okay, so the new changes for the toners are going to be that they will now have something called bond enforcing hydro lock technology. So they've got the bonding technology, but they're also going to help maintain and the moisture content inside of the hair. Thank you. Yeah. They are going to now be pH neutral, whereas before the toners were slightly alkaline. Now they're going to be pH neutral, which if you did or did not know, our BlondeMe premium developers sit at about a 3.5 pH. So if the toner themselves are going to be pH neutral at 6.5 to 7, and this developer is 3.5, it ultimately means now that the BlondeMe toners will end in an acidic final mixing pH ratio, which is beautiful, especially when you're doing hair that's just been through a very alkaline kind of lifting or bleaching process with the 9+. And then, of course, the gel and consistency. The gel consistency, I want to show you guys. So this is a new toner that we're going to have. It's called Ice Iris. And I would just want to show you the consistency. So we're going to do a little unboxing here. So we've got this annoying piece of paper that nobody reads. We're just going to throw that away. The tubes all still look, you know, pretty much the same. So you want to take the cap off. You're going to puncture the little seal here. And then I'm going to put some of this new toner into a bowl. And I want you guys to be able to see. Can you see like the consistency is like jelly?
I love that.
Wow.
When can we have it?
Nobody has that in a tube. That's so cool.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
and it smells like BlondeMe toners as well. So then I'm gonna put the developer in so you guys can see it's still the same kind of rich, thick, creamy developer. And then, ooh, I forgot a brush.
So obviously it's considered a permanent toner still.
No, they used to be considered a permanent because they fell under the permanent category because they were alkaline, and now they would be more considered a demi because they are pH neutral.
But they're all clear?
So they won't basic at all?
Can you see the consistency of the final mixture? I'll do it again.
Did you mix that with
Wow.
the 10?
The 7 volume from BlondeMe.
7, I'm sorry, yes.
Yeah. So the consistency is great because you can, it's still thick enough where you could apply it with a brush, but it's definitely loose enough where you could apply it with some foam brush or a bottle, either way.
Ian, the last time I ever used one of the toners was a long time ago, but it had the ability in it, and it took my client and it base bricked her. And that wasn't the intended result I was going for. Are these going to still be able to do that with the 7 volume?
No. No, because they're pH
Okay.
neutral. No, I know, and I know exactly what you're talking about. The alkalinity of the current / soon to be old BlondeMe toners could, if the hair was fine enough, shift.
Yeah, it was. Okay.
These, no. You see here on the box, we've got T, which stands for toner, and then specifically this one is Ice Iris. Now, in the new BlondeMe toners, we're going to have something called DT, which are deep toners, in shades like deep chestnut, milk chocolate, granite, and nougat. For those of you who are, why am I echoing? Okay. As you'll see down at the bottom right of the screen, we did decide that apricot and caramel are no longer going to be part of the toner family. They've been kicked out. However, we do have 8 shades of the regular toners in BlondeMe, and then moving forward, starting in September, we'll have the 4 new deep toners. I wanted to put in here for you guys, well, that kind of tells you what works best where. But the deep toners, like, why do we have them? Because honestly, Germany called me and they were like, you guys wanted this. Like, we don't understand it. Like, this is a range called BlondeMe. Why do we have shades like granite and deep milk chocolate? And I was like, well, we do a lot of shadow rooting and like blurring and low lighting and things like that. Like Maggie's cat, like that'd be a perfect example of chestnut. With the toners, we just want to bring more awareness to the fact that, hey, we do have toners that go and perfectly coincide with any BlondeMe lifting service. We just need to talk about them. And I love that we've done such a great job with Vibrance and that everybody's like Vibrance like on board. And I am just going to be completely honest with you guys. Well, let me ask you this first. Why haven't you tried the BlondeMe toners? Was it a consistency thing? Was it cost? Was it I just like sticking with one brand? Like, I guess if you guys aren't using it, that's indicative, just made up a word, of why other people wouldn't be using them. And we want to be able to like tell the right story as to why the BlondeMe toners are amazing. So I guess
I haven't used them because I haven't like thought to use them.
Okay.
Just,
For me,
like
it's
they're
color.
there, and I'm like, well, let me just grab this. I don't have to learn about it. So I feel like if we bring it to our audience very simple, we're gonna be wanting to grab it. Like I want to grab it now and use it.
Okay, fair. I love it.
Something for me as like a hairstylist, like just thinking in that, like going to Cosmoprof and like looking at them, I think that they scare people because they don't know what level they are. They don't understand what level that is. They're like, I kind of want to use it because that sounds cool, but like I'm afraid
Break the face.
I don't know
What is it? Got it? Okay.
Hey Ian, so you would place these on a 10, like, because I lift like separate levels, so I'm using different underlining pigments. So would I use it for 10 only? I mean, not the deep toners, but just the toner.
I'm gonna say this. If you look here at the chart, like ice is gonna be your lightest, most platinum toner that we've got. Sand is almost, it is a little beigey, but it's like, it's subtly cool. It's a cool sand. And then if you think about like how like the law of color, steel blue and ice iris are going to be deeper just because they're cool tones to begin with, right? So while they don't necessarily have a level, I've always explained these to be, and maybe my explanation is a little like not clear, they are what they are when you put them on what you put them on. So like ice on a deeper gold is going to get rid of a little bit of that gold, but it's not strong enough to get all the gold. So you'll get the clearest end result if you put these at a 10. But of course they'll do something to a 9, right? Okay, I hope I didn't lose anybody.
But it'll only shift, I'm looking at your chart, like it'll barely shift an 8. It will see some shift in a 9, and a 10 you'll see the most results. So I can use it like 8 to 10, 7 you need to use the deep.
Yep.
Okay.
And that was one thing, like the swatches that I showed, I buy this ring from Amazon.
Yeah.
The original starting point is this, like it's like a 10, like it's pretty much clear. And like the BlondeMe toner in total really were like, these are all the toners. So you'll get like the deep toners especially, I was just like, oh my god, like deep chestnut is no joke. Like granite is, whoa. So I hope that, does that help answer your?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So here's how it all is supposed to work together. We've got the lightening service. So for example, our BlondeMe 9 Plus, you'd follow up with the shampoo and then the treatment, both of which has, it's a little quiz. What does the BlondeMe Care have?
The bonding agent.
Yes, it has the integrated bonding technology already in the shampoos, the treatments. It's, remember, magnesium citrate. It kind of comes in like this, positive, negative, the internal structure of the hair. Then we'll do our toner with the new toners that we have coming in September. You could do like the BlondeMe All Blondes, the care potion with the mask, and then send your client home with whatever that they need to maintain their bonding BlondeMe service.